right, listen up. This is the Music Scene Podcast. I am your host, Dave Cudrak. Today on the podcast, we've got Adam Reiss. Adam is a great singer, songwriter. He primarily does solo acoustic cover gigs. He does a great job at kind of replicating the original versions of songs, so it's always a good time to see him. He also plays harmonica while he's playing guitar, so that brings that added level of interest when you're at one of his gigs. He's all around the open mic scene. He does play his own gigs. As a husband and a dad who's working a full-time job, music is what he does in his free time, as well as, you may or may not know, he has a small soap making company. So he brought me a couple samples, which I'm super excited about. But yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going on, and he's really kind of trying to pursue his passions in his spare time, which is something we should all do if you're not doing that as your career. But yeah, I really enjoyed talking to Adam. He wrote a song today specifically to perform on the podcast, and he nailed it. So it's awesome. It's got the harmonica and everything. So you guys are really, really going to dig it. But yeah, here's my conversation with Adam Reiss. Adam Reiss, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure,
yeah, man. I am pronouncing that right?
You
Reiss?
are.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, I know you from, I think I first met you at Red, White, and Brew. A number of previous guests that have been on the podcast, I think I met for the first time at Red, White, and Brew. And at their open mic. I know you're a solo acoustic guy, right? Primarily.
Yep.
Where did you get started with music? When did you first start playing?
So, I've always been a music fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I always liked to sing. I tried guitar when I was young, and I didn't have the patience for it. But when I was about 28, 29 is when I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a guitar. And I did. It was a used Dean from Guitar Center, Dean Acoustic.
What made you decide to buy one at the age of 28 or 29?
I realized that I didn't really have many hobbies, and I was kind of just, once I got done work, I would just do nothing.
Right.
I could always kind of carry a half decent tune, so I just wanted to add something to it.
Yeah.
And
nice.
So yeah, I bought the guitar and practiced a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the more patience for it at that time.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I wish I had stuck with it when I was young, because I'd be miles ahead of where I am. But I'm happy that I did it. No regrets there.
That's awesome. And then what did you do once you kind of learned how to play? Did you join any kind of bands or anything, or jam with anybody? So
the first place I played with other people or outside of my house was at Dominic's Tavern. It was Dion Pacey.
Oh yeah, Dion Pacey.
Yeah, Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
He was running the open mic there. This I would say is about 2014.
Okay, where was that again?
Dominic's Tavern.
Oh, okay.
Belmar.
Yeah, I know where that is now. Yep.
And so I played 3 songs. It was 2 Neil Young songs and a Tom Petty song sandwiched in there.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say those are my probably biggest influences.
Okay. How did it go? Your first time? Were you scared to death or what?
I mean, I was later on in, like, I didn't get my name until later, so I had a lot of time to get some liquid courage. So by that point, I was feeling fine. And it actually went pretty good. My girlfriend at the time had recorded me on the phone, and, I look back and said, didn't sound great, but
you did it.
Yeah. So
that's great. And did you keep doing open mics ever since then?
I did a few there. It was always tough for me to get out, especially because their open mics are typically on weeknights.
Sure.
And work and kids and all that. So
yeah.
But yeah, when I could get out, I would do some.
Okay, cool. And like I said, I've seen you at the Red, White, and Brew open mic. So you're still doing the open mic scene, but you've got your own gigs nowadays too, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when did that start? When did you get your first kind of paying gigs?
My first official paid gig it's easy to remember. It was 4/20 of 2022.
Why is that easy to remember, Adam?
Just a good random date, you know. So it was just about 3 years ago.
Okay, nice.
And it was at Red, White, and Brew. Yeah, and cool. It was a Wednesday night, which typically at the time wasn't very busy. It was my first gig. I got a lot of friends that came out, sure. So they were like, "Oh, well, come on back." I don't know if it was based on quality or what I was
quantity.
Able to, yeah. And hey, you know what? At that point, yep. You take what you can get.
That's exactly right. Yep. That's very similar to my first experience. And my first paying gig was August 6th of 2022. And it was at Core 3 Brewing Company.
Nice.
And of course, it's your very first gig, so everybody's going to come out. I had family there, I had friends there, like, so I filled the place, and they were like, "Yeah, you can play here anytime." And then, like, the next time I played, I had maybe 4 people show up.
You know? Yep. The luster has worn off.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So how do you like doing the solo stuff? Is that your jam, or are you looking to maybe do other stuff as well, or?
I do love doing it by myself because it's kind of, I don't obviously get to pick my own gigs, mm-hmm. But it's just, I don't know. I don't have to consult with anybody about what songs. I can just basically write down a set list and,
yep.
But I do also enjoy jamming with other people. Mm-hmm. I just, like I said, because of the stage we are in our lives, it's hard to get together with people, which is what's even more impressive about some of our friends, like the gyms and all that. How they make the time to do that.
Yeah.
So,
and I like me, you have kids, right? How many kids do you have?
I have two daughters.
Okay, me too. How old are they?
So 18.
Okay,
and 2.
Oh wow.
Yep.
16 years apart,
yep.
Man.
Yep.
That's got to be interesting.
Yeah, it's I was like almost done and then starting all over. So I was going to be like one of those cool young like 40-something-year-olds with a kid out of school.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to
finally have money.
Yeah, well. Yep, maybe. And now I'm going to be probably late 50s before I even get to sniff that kind of freedom.
Yeah, right. That's
okay. It's all worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got 2 young girls too, but mine are 9 and 11. So unfortunately, I'll be sending them to college at pretty much the same time. So I know that's going to get expensive, but it is what it is, you know?
That's why we do these extra projects.
Yeah, that's right. So like I have a full-time job and do music in my spare time and the podcast in my spare time. You have a full-time job, right?
I do.
Okay. But not only are you doing music, you also have like another business, right?
I do. I have a small soap making business. Mm-hmm. I'm the sole employee, pretty much whatever title, owner, operator.
Mm-hmm. President, CEO, Chief Financial Officer.
Yep. And that makes about this much more money. So
that's awesome though. How did you get into like soap making and stuff?
My wife and we like to go to markets and stuff like that. Flea markets, farmers markets. Yep. And there's always somebody selling soap. Mm-hmm. And I like the soap. I like the way it smells. I like the way it works. Mm-hmm. And I bought one and I remember thinking I could probably figure out how to do this. And I kind of did. I do sort of a different way than most people, different process. Mm-hmm. But it creates virtually the same product.
Okay, cool.
So
cool. I know this is a music podcast, but I'm genuinely interested in kind of like what makes you you. So how did you like learn to make soap, and how do you do it differently than most?
So I really just was reading a lot online about it, and there is the main process that most people use is cold process, which I'm not totally sure about, so I won't get into all the nuances. Yeah, but mine, I do, it's called melt and pour, where I buy basically a block of soap base.
Oh, okay.
And I buy the shea butter base, and you cut it up, and you put it in a pitcher, and you melt it down to a liquid. Mm-hmm. Then you add your color. I use essential oils for the fragrance.
Okay.
And sometimes if it's like lavender or something, there will be little pedals that you
Okay.
can put in, or I do a coffee vanilla chai,
Oh, cool.
and I put some coffee grounds in it,
That's awesome.
which is really cool because it's not only looks cool and smells good, but it actually helps exfoliate your
Right,
skin.
right. The grounds. Yeah.
So, but
That's cool.
yeah, the process I use is a little different, but we all get to the same.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. How do you go about
So
selling them? Do you go to the farmers markets and set up like a table, or?
I've done a couple of those events. Matter of fact, Red, White, and Brew had a Christmas bazaar or whatever, just market.
Yep.
That was in 2023, and I had a table set up there.
Nice.
Another place that I play sometimes is in Florence. It's called Subculture Artisan Ales.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they had a night market this past year, and I had a table set up there.
Nice.
But as far I generally do most of my advertising through Instagram and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
That's one really cool thing about social media that I think it's generally supposed to be for.
Yeah. Yep.
I know a lot of people use it in a lot of different ways, but no, you get basically free advertising.
Yep.
You sell yourself, you sell your product,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you know, if people are interested, they'll reach out.
That's cool. Do you have like a storefront set up, or do people just contact you if they want to buy something?
They basically just DM me or
Okay.
email me or text me.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have a separate Facebook account for the soap, or is it all just under yours?
I have a Instagram account.
Okay.
It's at Now and Lather Soap.
Now and Lather Soap.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Awesome. Well, you brought me some.
I did.
Yeah. It smells. Oh, geez. It smells fantastic. Not only does it look cool, right, but it smells fantastic. I don't know if you guys could see that, but yeah, if only you guys could smell it, it's pretty sweet.
The white one is basil.
Oh, nice.
And that one is lavender.
Yeah, that one I can smell. Yep. This one I'll have to.
Yeah, when it's out of the cellar.
Yeah. But that's cool. Thank you so much.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, man. Okay, so back to the music stuff, right? So you're out here playing gigs. Your gigs, I assume, are probably similar to mine, right? Where they're acoustic they're cover songs, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I know you mentioned Tom Petty and Neil Young, but I'm sure you're not just doing those guys when you're out. What other songs or genres are you covering at your gigs?
So I like to try to play something for everyone while still playing songs I enjoy.
Yep.
So there is a lot of the 60s and 70s classic rock. I do some 80s, like Don't Dream It's Over.
Oh, cool. Nice.
In Excess, I play Never Tear Us Apart.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
And then I started really liking music in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And so Weezer, Pearl
cool.
Jam, Nirvana, grunge, 90s alternative, stuff like that. So basically classic rock and the grunge are my wheelhouse.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I'll play Watermelon Sugar.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. I'll play Valerie, because those are songs that people know.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could stand up there and play 10, you could nail 10 songs in a row, and if they don't know them, they're not that excited.
Right.
But then you play something a little newer, a little more well known, and I like those songs too.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it if I didn't like it.
I'm the same way. I've tried to learn some songs that I don't necessarily like, but I would think they're crowd pleasers.
Yeah.
And they live in my set for maybe 2 or 3 gigs, and I'm like, no, I'm not playing this again. It's, even though the crowd might like it, I don't enjoy it. So unless I can really switch it up somehow and make it my own. Like I do a cover of Cruel Summer from Bananarama. And that 80s pop hit is like a dance, it's like a dance song basically. Well, I slow it down and play it in a minor key, and it changes the whole vibe, and I really enjoy like my version of it. So I love playing that song even though I did not like the original version.
Yep.
Do you have any songs that you've kind of changed up drastically?
Not really. I try to stay pretty close to how the artist does it. Not because I'm trying to be a copycat. I just don't really want to take too many creative liberties. And some people might recognize the song and say, "Wait, that's not how."
Right. Yeah,
So,
I hear you.
So no, I don't. just there are some heavy songs that I do slow down. Rockin' in the Free World.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Nice.
So
That's awesome. And then, I do have songwriters in here as well. So do you write any of your own music?
I do, but I don't like. I guess I'm just not confident in them enough to really perform them.
Okay.
Although I do have one that I'm gonna take a crack at tonight. So
Nice. All right.
yeah. And
I'm sorry to interrupt. These songs that you've written, are they full songs or are they just still kind of ideas?
a lot of them are like 2/3 or 3/4 written, and I just can't find that final thing to take me over the edge with them. So the majority of them, I would say, are project songs.
Okay. All right.
So
nice. What's the song that you're going to play for us today? What's that about?
It's called Empty Headed, and basically it is about struggling to write songs.
Okay.
So
something we can all relate to.
Yeah. So hopefully I can express myself through that one.
Yeah. So every time I've seen you, you've had an acoustic guitar. Have you ever played electric or dabbled in that sort of thing?
Yeah, I do. I still struggle a lot with pedal setup and especially like I would love to use a loop pedal so I could do solos and stuff. I just it's hard to make the time to practice all that. So because doing it at your house is good, but then trying to do it out in front of people, you're kind of under the microscope.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, you don't really have the time to, hold on.
Right.
Yeah.
I messed up. Let me start over.
I had this at home, but so.
And being a solo guy, there's no one else to blame. You know what I mean? Like you're out there on Front Street, all eyes are on you. And if for some reason you crash and burn, it's not like you can look over at your imaginary bass player and blame them,
Well, that's also could be good because that saves fights. You're really just fighting with yourself.
That's right. Yeah, I was in an original rock band a long time ago, probably pushing 20 years now. And yeah, there were 5 of us, right? 2 guitar players, a singer, a bass player, and a drummer. And we could never get on the same page about anything. We lasted maybe 2 years, but it was always like we couldn't decide on what songs we were going to do in our set. We couldn't even decide how often we were going to play live and where we were going to play and all this stuff, or even practice times. So when you were saying like how you're a solo guy because you like to make those decisions and not have to confide in anyone else on that stuff, I'm the same way. I love the fact that I can just play what I want. I can play where I want, like I can choose the venues to reach out to, and then I don't have to split the money with anybody.
Probably the best part that I didn't mention, but yes.
Yeah. So what else you got going on? I mean, you've got the soap, you've got music. What are your plans for either one of those? I mean, do you have aspirations of growing the music into something bigger or the soap shop into something bigger?
I do have aspirations. Ideally, how I would like to earn my living is through playing music and making soap.
Okay.
And I can make some money doing both, but currently it's just not enough to support my family.
Yeah.
So, and also, with that, you have to worry about getting, health benefits and all that. So currently working for someone else is probably the best way to finance my project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I saw an interview with Rick Rubin, right?
Yeah.
World famous producer. And I forget what interview it was, but he was basically saying like, you have to pursue your passion, you have to pursue your passion. And then he even said like, if you can't afford to pursue your passion, well, and you have to work a full-time job so you can pursue your passion in your spare time, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that sort of thing.
Yeah. This is a little off topic, but it reminds me of one of the owners of the company I work for. I saw him and I asked how he was doing. He's an older guy, about 70. He said, if you have your health, you have everything. I'm thinking, well, having a few million in the bank probably doesn't hurt.
Right, exactly.
So,
yep.
I like
Yep.
the sentiment.
Sure. It's like when they say money doesn't buy happiness. Well, yeah, it doesn't automatically make you happy, but it does make things easier.
Absolutely. You have more options.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know you said you've got a whole bunch of like projects, songwriting projects that are not quite finished. We've got a whole network of original musicians in and around town. You already mentioned the Jims, and then there's Michael Songs and Chuck M and all those guys. Any plans to maybe finish writing some stuff and maybe record stuff in the future?
I do. I hope to do that at
Mhm.
least. Yeah. I guess I kind of just want to see how the first few originals go and
Sure.
then see where it branches off from there.
Yep. Anything else you wanted to kind of talk about or let the people know about you or anything like that before we get to the performance?
So, one thing, because I guess you did ask if I've had band experience,
Mhm.
and I have. It's not how you typically the music that we play. I was going to a church in Collingswood for years called Fellowship Community Church,
Okay.
and they have a band, a worship team, they call it.
Hmm.
And I back in 2016, I started. I believe it or not, I started out playing bass for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And then it kind of moved over to electric guitar, and then I told them I can play harmonica and I can sing, and they gave me a shot doing that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So back in, I guess during COVID, like 2020, there was this girl, Elizabeth, and she's phenomenal. She stepped away from it. She was in charge.
Mhm.
She stepped away, and she's got like 5 kids, and
Yep.
so
She's
and
busy.
yeah, very. So for about 6 months, there was no one like in charge, and then but I kind of like the show needed to go on, so
Yeah.
I kind of just assumed responsibility.
Oh, nice.
Not purposely, not planned. It just kind of happened that way. And then I talked to the leaders there, and they said, we can make this a position for you. It's part-time. It's only on Sundays. But you're picking songs and practicing them throughout the week too. And what's tricky about that is the only time that we got to rehearse together as a band was an hour and a half prior to the service.
Oh, okay.
So you got to work out all the kinks in that
Mhm.
little time. You got to learn who can hit what notes and what we can't do.
Right.
Yeah. But that was cool. I did that up till just about about 6 months ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what was the total amount of time you did it for? Maybe 4 or 5 years?
So I altogether about 8 years, and
Okay.
I led the team for about 4.
Oh, cool.
So
Cool.
and it was really cool because you get to be part of something.
Mm-hmm.
And you have people that actually are counting on you, and depending
Sure.
on, it's pressure, but it's cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So what so how did you pick up the bass then if
So what happened was they had their bass player who was phenomenal. He was moving to like upstate New York, and so a friend of mine that was on the team, he asked me if I played bass.
Mhm.
I said no. He said, "Well, I'll teach you just the basic
Oh,
stuff."
okay. Nice.
So that was like on a Wednesday night, and then that following Sunday, it was my bass debut, and
Wow.
yeah, so it went cool. It went fine. He taught me basic stuff, and
Yeah.
I liked it, so I learned how to do a little more.
Nice.
Yeah. So
So in like what 4 days you had your crash course lesson and then like 4 days you were on stage.
that's pretty much how it went.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But, didn't feel quite as much pressure.
Mhm.
One, because I'm with a team, and two,
Yeah.
you can just kind of put church
Right.
bass guy in the background a little. So,
Yep. And then when did you pick up the harmonica for the first time?
2013.
Okay.
So probably about a year into playing guitar, because a lot of the songs that I would be covering are from Neil Young,
Yep.
from Tom Petty,
Mhm.
Bob Dylan, songs with harmonica. So
Yep.
it's like I want to play these songs, but like I don't want to leave that out because that's kind of a big part. Excuse me, a big
Yeah.
part of the song.
Mhm.
And what I also have done with that is more or less use the harmonica to to substitute for a guitar solo.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Which has worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
I want to say that I probably, if I didn't play harmonica, I might get maybe half as many gigs.
Really?
Just because not anybody, but a lot of people can go and play a song and sing and make it sound pretty good.
Yeah, adding the harmonica definitely is a little bit of a different vibe, different feel.
You don't hear it frequently.
Yep.
So
that's very true.
Yeah.
And I assume you've got one of those things that goes around your neck.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have to.
Yeah, sure.
You'll see it.
Oh, cool. You're going to play it. Nice.
I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know that we've got a few people who are very much into gear that listen to this podcast. So what are you playing as far as an acoustic guitar? And
it is a Martin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a Dreadnought.
Okay. When did you get that?
I got it in June of 2023. Yeah.
Where did you get it?
I got it at Guitar Center in Wilmington, in Delaware.
Okay, yeah, I went there. I went there too, Wilmington, right outside of Wilmington.
Yes.
I bought a Fender, a Mexican-made Fender Strat there.
Nice.
Yep, just to avoid the sales tax.
Yep, so I work in Swedesboro at my full time.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So it's really only, a 15, 20-minute ride from there.
Yeah,
and
sweet.
Yes, as you said, save a couple $100.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then do you have electric guitars at home?
I do. I have a single coil Telecaster.
Nice.
It's butterscotch with a black pick guard.
Very cool. Is that a Fender or another brand?
It's a Fender.
Sweet.
And I also have a thin line Telecaster.
Okay.
That is the one with it's semi-hollow body.
Oh, okay.
And it's got humbuckers.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very cool. Are you like a guitar collector type guy? Like if you had the money, would you just go out and buy a whole bunch of guitars or no?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. If I had the money, I'd get cars and guitars.
So cars are another big hobby of yours? Or an interest?
I work at an auto body shop,
Okay.
and the shop fixes all kinds of cars, but they do have certifications for some higher end cars.
Oh, cool. Yep.
Jaguar, Land Rover, Porsche, Tesla.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a buzzword at the moment, but most of the people who drive them are good people.
Well, it started out as like an environmental movement.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's funny.
It's really kind of weird the
way
the direction it went to. Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so I've never been a big car guy, but working around so many cool cars, I would love to, because I get to drive them a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
But it would be cool. I am a parts manager.
Oh, okay.
And I just kind of help production.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
how long you been working there now?
almost 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good run. Yeah, man.
It's keeping the roof over our heads. So
nice. What's the most expensive car you've worked or you've seen or driven or whatever at the shop?
We've had a Rolls Royce.
Oh, nice.
Just for a detail. I think those are even a little expensive for our
okay.
for what we do. But I mean, if it's a detail or just a little buffing or something,
sure,
that's fine. But cool. I mean, that thing was probably worth 3 of my houses.
I bet.
And it's more comfortable.
Yeah. I used to be, when I was younger, I used to be super into cars, like the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis. I used to go to the auto show every year and used to go to the custom car show, which I thought was amazing. You know, people taking old cars and doing all kinds of crazy stuff to them. But then, you know, as you get older and stuff, not that I don't find it any less interesting. It's just, you know, having one of those cars is so beyond reality. I just try not to think about it.
Yeah. Well, you better have enough money to fix them, because they, for as expensive as they are, they break down like
do they really?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. So electrical issues, you know.
Sure. I used to watch. There was a show called Celebrities Riding in Cars Getting Coffee or something like that with Jerry Seinfeld, and he was in like a yellow Ferrari or something, and he was complaining the whole time about how he hated the car and all this stuff. And I'm kind of thinking, like, I can't believe he's complaining. He's riding a Ferrari. Now, granted, he's got expensive cars too, right? But like, he's complaining the whole time about this Ferrari, and then like halfway through the interview, it breaks down. He's like, "See, this is why I hate Ferraris."
Well, probably struggles you and I won't have to worry about anytime soon.
That's exactly right. All right, cool. So anything else you want to cover, or is that pretty much everything?
That's basically it. I appreciate what you're doing
Oh,
with
thank
this.
you.
Like, I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I
doing-
appreciate
yeah,
that.
of course.
Yeah.
I just love the thing about music is that there's no like expiration date, or like you only can get better as you get older.
Right. Yep.
I mean, I played sports in high school and stuff like that, and your body breaks down. You just can't do it like you used to. But you can just keep learning new things I mean, I am nowhere near where I'd like to be talent wise and all that, but I am so far from where I began.
Yeah, that's great.
And so if you have a drive, don't ignore it.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had started way sooner, but I'm happy that I started when I did.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a running theme in here where a lot of the guests all have a hiatus for some reason. Maybe they started playing when they were young, but then they put the instrument down for 10, or in my case, 20 years. And then you get back to it because it never leaves you. It's always there. And, but I guess the reason why I bring that up is it's like, it's never too late, no matter how old you are. I mean, I started playing again I started seriously playing again. I was 48, right? And I'm 52 now. So, it's only been 4 years on my second part of my journey, but I've accomplished a hell of a lot in those 4 years, and have become a much better guitar player and overall musician in just those 4 years, basically starting again at 48 years old, so.
That's cool. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So this is a song I wrote called Empty Headed. And essentially it's just about struggles of writing a song. My head is empty when I need it not to be. Can't put pen to paper with no thoughts inside of me. I know it's not so hard, but every time I try, anything I think I feel disappears into the sky. Help me write this song, I'll let you ride along. Dream a while with me, let me see you smile. So help me write this song, I'll let you ride along. Dream with me a while, and let me see you smile. Sitting on a log, lost within a fog. Help me gather up myself and take my mind from off the shelf. One word at a time is how I make it rhyme. Any feelings you can give could ease my troubled mind. So help me write this song, I'll let you ride along. Dream with me a while, and let me see you smile. Oh, help me write this song, it won't take very long. Dream with me a while, and let me see you smile. Let me see you smile. Let me see you smile. Let me see you smile.
All right. Nice.
Thank you.
Very nice, brother. Very nice.